Howdy YouTube, I'm back and hopefully going to bring you a quick review here. I just wanted to share my everyday carry pocket knife. I've had this knife for coming up on 7 years now, and this has been my daily driver ever since I got it way back in high school. Here's the Amazon purchase that I made way back in 2012. And when I bought this, it was $35. You can now get them for $25, I believe. That's the current price on Amazon at the time of filming this video. And so the knife is pretty much the same since I purchased it. From what I just looked online real quick, it's the same specs and everything. You can see this color is their titanium finish. This is still available from Kershaw. The model number on this one is the 1555 Ti. The steel you can see here is the 8CR13 MOV. But I just want to say that this knife is probably the best budget knife you could possibly get. It was, in my opinion, 7 years ago, and I think it still holds some ground here today. Kershaw makes a lot of different knives now, but the Kershaw Cryo is still one of the top picks in my opinion. I've traveled with this knife. I've taken it all sorts of places all over the country. And it's a decent size, so even in some of your more restrictive cities, some of your not so freedom loving states, this knife is legal in basically all of them. So, and it is not an auto, it is an assisted opening, therefore it's legal in pretty much most of the country. So we'll start at the tip and head down to the handle. So this has your traditional drop point style on here. Has a little bit of a relief cut on the back side. And I do keep this knife pretty sharp. It gets a touch up probably about every week. I do use it basically every day, opening packages, cutting small things, tape, boxes. You name it, this thing has probably cut it. Steaks, you bet. I use it for pretty much everything. So one thing, I don't know if you can notice too much, but the tip is ever so slightly bent. Probably hard to tell. It's been sharpened so many times. I've sharpened past where it bent, but dumb old me dropped this when it was in its open position on a concrete floor, bent the tip a little bit, but that's good that it just bent and didn't, completely snap the tip off. And that happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So going along that shows that this steel is a little bit on the softer side, but it does hold an edge fairly well. I do use this. This is a pretty heavy use knife. May not show up too well on camera, but some of the finish is kind of faded on there. Scratched it a good bit. So it does hold up well, but I do see myself sharpening this a little bit more often than a harder steel, or maybe just a like a 1090 or 1095. It's definitely a little bit softer than something like that. Coming down to the pocket clip, I keep this in a tip down position, and most people prefer tip up because it comes out and you can just actuate the flipper. I've grown to really like the tip down configuration, mostly because on this knife in particular, it offers a deep carry clip. So when this thing is in your pocket, I can usually carry this in my back pocket. the knife is fully concealed, and all you see is the clip on the outside. It does have options to carrying the tip-up configuration, and you can also flip them to the other side if you were to carry it, say, left-handed. I have just found that the tip-up configuration on this is, my preferred way to carry it, simply because it conceals it. Whereas if you put the clip here, you still have, this end of the knife sticking out. So it's just something I've gotten used to, and I've kind of grown to like that configuration. And it's still pretty quick to come out, rotate the knife in my fingers, and be able to open the knife. It is a very fast knife. The assisted actuation on here is very quick. Now, one thing is probably around the 5-year mark, maybe I think it was about 2 years ago, I did have to get the spring replaced in here. There's just a wire spring that connects to the blade, and that's what gives you your assisted action. So that snapped, so I didn't have the assisted feature, but I just contacted Kershaw, and within a week I had a replacement spring. So that was very cool, and I was very pleased at how fast they were able to get that out to me. And since then I haven't had any other issues with that. And I'm surprised that spring lasted as long as it did, because I use this knife quite often. So I literally just pulled this knife out of my pocket, and I will just show you kind of how I keep it, how sharp I usually keep it. What good is a knife review if no one cuts paper, right? So that's usually about the level I keep it at. It's not razor sharp. It doesn't need to be. I use it, just cutting random crap, and it does the job, and it does it well. So that's why I'd say the Kershaw Cryo is still the best budget knife 7 years later, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone looking to get a beater knife, an everyday carry knife, or it'd be the perfect first knife for someone who's just getting into the hobby or looking for an EDC that won't break the bank. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below, and you can check the description for a link to this particular knife, the exact one that I got 7 years ago. Thanks. Have a good one.